Don't buy a home until you do this.
Hey, it's Hal and Kris Cone here with Cone Realty Group. Thanks so very much for watching our latest video on the process of buying a new home here in 2023. If you find this content helpful, please make sure you like and subscribe.
And if you're thinking about selling or buying within the Roanoke Valley and Smith Mountain Lake, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. We would love to be your realtors.
Today we're going to share with you our buyer's roadmap, which is a sneak peek of our strategic process to help you buy a home right now, even in the competitive market that we're in.
Yeah, so if you're just toying with the idea of buying a new home, or hey, you're looking actively on Zillow every single day, this video is for you. And it kind of reminds me of like when we're putting together a big toy or a piece of furniture. I love digging out the directions, reading all the directions, looking at the diagrams, studying everything, and then, just organizing things. So this is exciting for me to go over this roadmap, but how do you feel about that?
Well, number one, I just want to say, I don't know if you've noticed this, but the directions of old are way different than the directions of new, right?
So true.
Because it's like all diagrams and pictures.
Yeah. And they're like itty bitty and poor quality. And it doesn't even match up.
And sometimes it's like number 8 should be number 2. I mean, I'm just saying. So with that, I've kind of like thrown the directions out the window. So I prefer to just like start trying to put it together. I will organize my nuts and bolts and that type of thing. But after that, it's like it's on at that point.
And sometimes that works for you.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's good to have a process.
Usually
right?
I have pieces left over, which is not good, right?
No comment on that one.
So that's why we wanted to talk to you today, about having a process in place that you can be successful when you actually go to buy that home here in 2023 or even later.
Yeah, and every realtor's model is a little different, but this is what we found to work in our market with our clients. So get comfortable, let's go.
So the first thing you're going to want to do, even if you're just starting to, quote, browse at properties, is find you a professional realtor. Hopefully that's us here at Cone Realty Group, so that they can help dig into like, why are you moving, and really help you strategize for the entire process. Because it's not about just clicking that button to contact an agent on Zillow to go see a house and just make it happen instantaneously. We do not recommend that. That is not the best way to go about home searching.
Yeah, I mean, you really need to find a professional realtor that has the experience you want and you have a good rapport with. I mean, remember, this can be a challenging process or have some parts that are. So having a good personality fit and someone that you know, like, and trust is vital during this process.
So you want somebody that's on your team, right? It takes a collective effort to actually find you that new home, especially in this market that we're in right now here in 2023 and that we saw in the past as well. It still can be difficult and challenging. So you want somebody that can cheerlead you, but then also navigate you to a successful closing.
Yes, so interviewing realtors is a great idea. There's lots of questions and we have some common. And before you even really set an appointment with a realtor, I always like to tell people, really take the time to define your reason why you're moving. I haven't met anyone yet that loves to move. Have you?
No.
I mean, it's not easy and it does cost a lot of money. So you're gonna have to keep that strong reason why in mind. It could be that you're solving a problem or just moving on to greener pastures, right?
Yeah.
But this can be a bumpy ride. So a lot of times when we meet with a client for the first time, we say, why are you moving? Why now? And that's something you're gonna have to really connect with and stick to.
Yeah, and if you're having a hard time defining that why, keep pulling that onion back like 5 questions layer deep, right? To make sure that you can get to that you can really hold on to make it through the process. And that's one of the things we do, being a full service real estate team, is we're able to help you really dive into that. We'll do like a 15 to 30 minute consult in the very beginning to make sure we have all those reason whys and we can actually help you define the actual plan that we're going to put in place, and then we're going to be available. We're full-time, we've got a full-time business, we've got other members of the team, so we don't just work weekends, we don't just work evenings. It's like we are available and we're going to be able to help you see properties. We're going to be able to look at hot sheets. We're going to be able to have conversations with other realtors to help find other properties potentially that you can see that are going to meet those parameters that we've talked about in that initial consult that we have with you.
Yeah, and hey, this video is not a sales pitch. We want you to connect with and work with the agent of your choosing, but if you are looking for more information customized to your situation, let's schedule a time to meet.
The next step you're going to need to take is going to be making sure that you are pre-approved if you need a loan, or if you've got cash, then you're going to need a letter that we call proof of funds so that you can submit that with your offer. This is going to give you the opportunity, if you're getting a loan, to know exactly how much you can afford, which is super critical. So you look at the right houses in the right neighborhoods, places that you're looking for, and then secondly, if you fall in love with that first house you see, you want to have that in place so you can make that offer. Otherwise, you could miss out because you don't have the proof of financing or the funds.
Yeah, we really love to set our clients up for success here. I mean, we've had some clients that they say, oh, we're working on our finances, we're almost there, please show us this house while we're in town, or whatever. And then we'll say, okay, well, let's go take a look. They fall in love with it and they can't make an offer because it's a multiple offer situation. Their lender may not be working on the weekend and they miss out on that dream house. So we really strongly suggest get your finances in order first. That gives you a clear vision of how much you can afford, what you're looking at, and you have the freedom to go ahead and put in an offer if it's all kosher, right?
That's right. If everything lines up right there. So
yeah.
And also along with that, you want to make sure that whenever you talk to the lender, the way that they pre-approve you is they're going to collect some financial documents like your pay stubs, your W-2s, bank statements, those types of things. So if you're just browsing online at houses and you're like, oh, I think I might want to buy in the next few months, go ahead and start pulling that stuff together so you are super prepared and ready to roll whenever you call that lender up to talk to them about getting pre-approved.
Yeah, we keep talking about the local lenders, but the reason why is because we've had such great success with local lenders. Our clients really have done well using them, and there's a few reasons that sets them apart from some of the larger lending organizations. They have a lot of experience in our market. They are able to work with you when you are actually looking at homes. Like if we need a pre-approval letter personalized to that one house, they're available on weekends, on evenings. We have that relationship where we can get you what you need quickly instead of waiting for that typical 9 to 5 person who is not going to be available when you're looking at homes. And I think they provide another layer of personal service that you just don't get anywhere else.
Yeah, and that's critical. It's like we want you to have a relationship with us as well as with your lender that you are passionate about and that you guys are on the same page. And the lenders that we work with, it's like they basically will ask you like, hey, what do you want your payment to be? They can kind of back you into like, what can you afford based on that? It's like, they're not going to try to sell you the largest house, even though we do have folks who are like, hey, I'm pre-approved for $300, but I could actually pay $600, and we're like, let's start at that $300,000 mark, right? So, everybody is focused on you getting what you're looking for and making it to be a successful process for you.
Yeah, and we often get this question too, is like, well, I'm not ready, my credit score is not ready, or I'm getting ready to change jobs. I'm not going to speak to the lender yet. I'm like, yes, go ahead and talk to them because they can actually set you up on a plan or give you their own roadmap to where you can become a home buyer. So check with them because they have a lot of cool programs.
Now that you're pre-approved, you have the green light to start searching for new homes. The fun part, right?
It is so fun. I love looking at homes. I can never get tired of it. And my phone has quite the album of home ideas and decoration ideas and architectural things. It's just so fun looking at homes, isn't it? I know you're scrolling through homes online and checking those out. So
that's right.
But we'll take the hard part for you. We're going to schedule all those showings, map everything out logistically around your calendar. Just keep in mind that most homes do require an appointment, so keep that in mind. It can be a lot to juggle to figure out logistics with locations and timing and everything, so be patient, but a lot of those do require appointments that we're working on the seller schedule and ours.
Yeah, we've got maps and apps and all these different things to make it as productive and as efficient as possible as well. And the other thing I always like to say is, don't call the listing agent. You you've signed up, you are on board, you got a realtor on your team, make sure you call them to schedule those appointments, to get those showings taken care of, because that's going to be what's in the best interest of you, and that's what you want to be taking care of. And when you're ready for those showings, don't call the listing agent. I mean, it's awfully tempting to ride by and say, hey, I see this house, let me call the listing agent and get in. You've got a realtor that you've chosen that is on your team. Make sure you give them a buzz, let them schedule that for you, go with you, so they can pick out the idiosyncrasies of the properties, issues that they may see, so they can actually help you tour that property, get you in there, and take great care of you.
Yes, and one thing I like to think of is, this is a tip for you, so write this down. Make sure you're flexible, especially in our current market. You know, we have a lot of high demand for homes and not a lot of homes available for sale right now. We call that low inventory. But take a look at homes in areas you may not have originally considered. We like to keep our search really broad initially because it's so much easier to eliminate homes than it is to try to seek one out or miss something. You don't want to miss anything. So keep that search really broad. Consider those types and styles that you normally wouldn't, and those fringe areas that might be a little further, maybe a 5-minute drive longer. But hey, that's where you get a lot of hidden cool gems.
Yeah, you do, and don't be surprised, and we see this happen all the time, if you fall in love with a home that's way different than what you originally expected and you told us in the beginning. We have it happen all the time.
We do. I love this story because when I talk with our clients about, hey, what style of home, what type, what are you really looking for? They can say, anything but a ranch or something like that, and then they look at all these styles. Oh, it happened to us too, but they look at all these styles and then they fall in love with a ranch. It's so funny. But you know, yeah, we were looking for a mid-century modern home and I had to have that, and we ended up in a Victorian. So very, very different. But it's fun because you just know it. It's like a wedding dress, I feel like. You just know.
You can fill it within like 30 seconds to walk in. You know, I think there's a statistic that actually says that. So it's an emotional connection to the property, and you know, you're looking for something that meets 85% of your parameters. You know, there is no perfect, idyllic house. Even when you build new construction, people always say, oh, I wish I'd have done this or that. So just go into it with the expectation that you're going to find a home that meets 85% of your criteria, and you're going to be ecstatic about that. Now that you've seen a home or two and you have found one that you absolutely love, it is time for you to prepare that offer with your professional realtor.
Yes, and again, the criteria is if it meets about 85% of your wants and needs, it's within your budget, super important.
Yeah.
And you can see yourself being happy in this home, go ahead and consider making an offer to purchase it.
Yeah, and I would say, you know, that within your budget, and if it's been on the market for like a day, and it's listed above your budget, don't think you're going to get it for a steal of a deal, because that's not going to happen right now.
Not right now.
So be smart about that. But now that you're ready to make that offer, you know, you're a professional realtor, and us over at Cone Realty Group, you know, we're going to provide you guidance through all the terms, the conditions, which includes like purchase price, the closing date, inspections, like which ones you're going to do, how long you have to do them, any other contingencies, those types of things, so that it aligns with your budget, aligns with your desires, and actually puts you in a good position to get that offer accepted by the seller while protecting you in the process. So you sign that offer, it's been presented to the seller through the listing agent, and now it is time to put your patience cap on, you know, because the seller and the agent on the other side, you know, they're going to have certain timelines. Like if it's been on the market for a while, it may be one of those things where they submit it to the seller, they review it instantaneously and get right back to you. But then there may be other times where there's multiple offers. They're like, hey, we're going to review all offers in 48 hours at this day, at this time. So everybody's on the same page, and then they present 5 offers to the seller, review those. So you need to be patient during this process, depending on what the actual scenario is for that seller right now.
Yeah, each one is a little bit different.
Yeah.
And we'll work with you and the listing agent on this during this time, of course. And then hopefully they come back to us saying that they have accepted the offer. That's ultimate, just as it's written. That's fantastic.
But that doesn't happen that often.
Not very
Just
much.
saying.
The second best is they come back with what's called a counter offer. So it's kind of like a conversation starter, if you will. this is where you're entering into that time of negotiation. Or they could completely not accept your offer, not even acknowledge it.
Yeah. We don't like to see that happen by any
no.
means, but it can happen. And then sometimes, if you just throw a lowball offer over there, it really makes the seller angry. And they don't look at it as a conversation starter, and they're just like, nope, I'm not going to counter, I'm not going to do anything, and they're going to tell you to kick rocks.
Yeah, well, the goal here is that we would work with you and the listing agent to reach an agreement that is acceptable to both parties.
Right. Yeah, so let's dig into that. So it's like, we're going to look to make sure that when we're negotiating, it's like the price, those terms we talked about, like closing date, inspection timelines, what actually happens in those inspections, how that's handled, all those things that both parties are totally comfortable and confident with and are willing to sign an initial to make it a ratified contract.
Yes, and this is another step when having a professional realtor on your team is so critical, because they'll help you navigate through these next steps, because we do it every single day, and really we are looking out for your best interests.
Congratulations, way to go. You are now in escrow, which means everyone has agreed to the terms of the offer, everybody has signed the agreement, and you are officially under contract.
That's awesome. So essentially, this house is being held just for you all the way to closing. But there's a lot that happens during this stage. We'll talk about that next. and with our group, I love it that we have a lady, Judy, who does an amazing job. She is a dedicated full-time team member who guides our clients through each step of this process all the way to closing, because there's so many key dates and responsibilities you do not want to miss.
No. Let's talk about the final details leading up to closing after you're under contract. This is when you'll be finalizing your finances with your lender, or pulling out your funds and wiring those if you've got cash, doing your due diligence, which means you're getting inspections done, the appraisal is going to get done if that's part of the contract. So those are the types of details that we're talking about right here.
There's a lot of activity, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Woo-wee.
And we're going to always refer back to that contract, that legally binding contract, to understand what actions are going to be taking place. And based on how you structured your contract, there may be more negotiations that are taking place based on the outcome of things like home inspection, well inspection, radon, septic, yes, and also the appraisal.
Yeah, and the goal through all of this is to keep you on course, you and the seller on course, to get you to closing, right? And we're going to, like she said, we're going to refer back to that contract. There's going to be some turbulence. There's going to be some stuff that we have to go through. We've done it many, many times. No two transactions are the same. So we're going to put our problem-solving cap on, and we're going to keep navigating based on what we've agreed to in the contract to help you stay on course so that you can get to closing.
Yeah, really, don't worry. We're going to help you. We're going to manage this whole process for you.
Yes, now it's closing day. You've made it through all of the inspections, you made it through the appraisal, you made it through all the lending process, and now you are at the title company, or you could be an attorney, signing your paperwork.
Yeah, and if you're not in town, that's okay. We have options for remote closing as well. But this is the day where the final paperwork is signed and the transfer of funds and ownership takes place.
Yeah, and it's important to know here in Virginia, here in the Roanoke Valley, that you may not actually see the seller when you sign your paperwork.
Yeah.
That's not common practice here.
Yeah, we just usually sign at separate times, and that's okay. But another important thing that you need to know, this is really, really important, that you're not going to actually be taking possession until it records at the courthouse. Usually that's the same day, which is nice. But
as long as you close in the morning.
Right. But
don't close late in the day.
Or like holidays, you need to plan for that.
Yeah, we're navigating that right now.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. But you need to plan accordingly, like if you have moving trucks coming or pods coming or friends helping you move, even where you're going to stay that night. So make sure you have all that understood and know when it's actually recorded in the courthouse.
Yes, plan that out accordingly, and then you'll actually receive the keys once it records, once those funds have been transferred, so that you can move into that new home sweet home.
Congratulations on your new home.
We'll see you on the next video.